So Vigilantes, Arrow just aired its penultimate episode. That's literally it. One more episode until Arrow Season 7 is over. So let's review Arrow Season 7 episode 21, Living Proof. What is up, Vigilantes? Welcome to a brand new Arrow review and breakdown. Now, yes, as you just heard in the intro, this is for the penultimate episode of Arrow Season 7, Living Proof. And, you know, this episode was good. I have to admit, when I saw the Tommy Merlyn stuff with Oliver under the rubble and whatnot going on for quite a portion of the episode, I was like, oh man, please don't let this be filler. Like, it does serve a purpose, of course, and we'll get to that. But I was thinking, guys, this is the second to last episode, so like what's gonna go on here? And you know, luckily it wasn't all about that, and as I just said, it served a good purpose. Towards the end of the episode, it did have a bit of setup for the finale, and I feel like things are kind of more or less in a good place now for Arrow Season 7 to end. I have to admit, I feel like I did enjoy last episode, just like maybe a smidge or two more, but I don't want that to put this episode down in any way, because it still was a good episode. But before we get into the actual specific breakdown of this episode, guys, be sure to like this video if you do go on to enjoy it. I really do appreciate the support. It helps me get out there a little bit more of the YouTube and everything like that. So if you do find yourself enjoying this, crush that thumbs up button. And if you want to see more Arrow videos just like this in the off season, especially going into season 8 and all this kind of comic booky stuff, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. So guys, Tommy Merlyn returns, and as I wrote down in my notes, as cool as that is, please don't let this be filler. And it was, but it wasn't, but it was, but also it wasn't at the same time, because as I said, it does fill a purpose of, you know, this whole time Oliver has improved over the seasons of Arrow in terms of not just going around in season 1 killing whoever he wants with no remorse, as long as it you know, fulfilled his father's mission, and the cycle of, you know, whatever his father has put upon him, or it felt like what he had to carry out throughout the seasons, is kind of brought up in this episode through Tommy being the other side of Oliver's consciousness or subconscious or whatever, because he's pretty dead set on killing Emiko now, especially after he learned that she could have stopped the, you know, the Queen's Gambit from going down. And essentially Tommy, this episode literally just serves that other side of Oliver's brain to be like, don't murder her, you know, break the cycle of the Queen family, break the cycle of what your father has induced into this family, and give her another chance. And I did feel like saying in this episode to Tommy, it's just like, or to the other side of Oliver's brain, but like, hasn't he been doing that? Like, he kind of has been like, Emiko, like, I swear if somebody compiled the amount of clips where Oliver runs up to Emiko and screams her name and is like, please don't do this, there must be a billion by now. So I don't blame Oliver for being just like, you know, she's made her decision, she has to live by them, and if I have to kill her, I have to kill her. But, you know, as I said, the whole point of this was trying to take a step back from that and give her another chance to change, because Oliver, as Tommy said this episode himself, is the living proof that people can change. Now, for quite a while in the season, I mean, it did start with us thinking, how is this going to happen? How is Star City going to delve into hating vigilantes and end up as like weird looking and broken as it is in the future? Well, we've been getting clues on that for quite a while, and in this episode, it really did go ahead with that. With, you know, for example, the SCPD had a warrant for Felicity. They knew about the footage, so they know that Team Arrow straight up lied about everything they said in the last episode to the police. And as Wild Dog said himself, meaning everything and their reputation they built this year with the SCPD being deputized, everything was for nothing. And that was pretty cool, because it's like, okay, especially by the way this episode ended with the SCPD support helicopter coming in, it's a bit like, damn, they look like they've been caught red-handed, and oh my god, like you kind of can't blame the city for thinking that these people are very, very bad, especially with the massacre in the SCPD from the Ninth Circle. We had that scene with Roy sacrificing himself by jumping into the cloud, or like the little stuff that will kill you in like 10 seconds if you breathe it in or whatever. I have to admit, guys, this is the thing, and I'm not trying to, you know, nitpick or anything. I'm really not. I'm just revisiting an earlier point from the season where I was talking about it, so were other YouTubers in the first few reviews of the show, like episode 1, 2, or 3 of season 7, in terms of how I didn't really feel any suspense here. Sure, it felt feelsy because it was a really heroic moment for Roy, but when you know characters are alive in the future, like when you know he's gonna be fine, I didn't give really much of a shit. I knew he was gonna be fine. I knew he was gonna be fine, and he was. Like, he jumped back up, and I know this wasn't intentional. Oh, what's gonna happen to Roy? Like, I mean, it was, because they definitely definitely made the characters think that, but we know, and with the flash forwards, these are the kind of problematic things, but it's not like it matters anyway, because the show's ending. So this is why they probably involved those flash forward scenes, knowing that it would add that element of, you know, taking away suspense, but also adds this legacy element to the show, which is fine because it's ending. I mean, if it went on for another 5 seasons, then I would 100% say the flash forwards take a lot away from the show in terms of suspense. But yeah, as I said, makes sense, ending next season. I also like how Elena kind of gave that idea, or like foreshadowed Felicity going away to the cabin, just in the sense of how, you know, when you're trying to protect something or whatever, PC wise, you're going to get a really good firewall and take it offline. And that's when Felicity was like, I just can't take myself off the grid and go somewhere or whatever. So that was, as I said, pretty cool foreshadowing, because as we know, Oliver and Felicity, or Felicity raises Mia in that cabin for like 20 years, I think. And there was also another cool line from Elena in terms of how she said, did you just add another hero to your Justice League, when Emiko walked into the Arrow Cave. Now, the next bit, guys, was the very WTF moment of the episode, but I would love to know if you felt how I did. So this is where Emiko arrives with Oliver and the Ninth Circle members. They had all reunited at this point, and she's like, I know about your baby, and I was just like, oh, like, you know, that's triggered Oliver straight away. So we had that cool fight. I love how Dinah got the staff, you know, from a piece of, you know, broken off pipe or something. This was all really cool. Love the Arrow combat here, Vigilante combat. But when Emiko says, your family's gonna die, I made sure of it, Oliver decides to shoot. And I thought this was like, you know, it would just been so predictable for him to be like, okay, you know, whatever, and then she runs away. So that happens every time, you know, he can't kill his own sister, but then he shoots. That would have been incredible, because it would have been unexpected. And then you find out that Diggle got shot. Now, fair enough, you can't really see the arrow go off. It would have been cool if they showed like Emiko releasing it as she got shot or something, and then Diggle is shot, and I'm like, no. And the reason why I think that this was amazing, I mean, I want to exclude the bit after that, because then when you see Team Arrow dead on the floor after that, you realize that this isn't real. But rewind back just 4 seconds, where at this point you only see Emiko dead, and then you see Diggle shot. You kind of are in the realms of, is this real or isn't it real? No, it's not real. But then you realize it's definitely not real, as I just said with Team Arrow on the floor. But I thought, man, I praise you, Arrow, for being so bold. For if you've done this, but they didn't. Of course they didn't. Now, of course, if I would have been thinking maybe a bit more clearly, I would have remembered Diggle has been in behind the scenes photos for the finale and stuff like that. But still, I was almost a bit bittersweet in this moment, just because that would have been amazing. As I said, take away the blatant fakeness of all Team Arrow being dead on the floor, but when Emiko had been shot and then Diggle had been shot, that was just incredible. Like, that would have been one of the most shocking things Arrow has ever done. But at the same time, what they did do was very beautiful in terms of how the story of Tommy Merlyn, or should I say Oliver's own brain, going back and forth with himself all episode long. This was just showing the outcome of if Oliver really had decided that if he was going to be as ruthless as she was to his father, that would have been the outcome if he would have just murdered her or something like that. And he needs to break the chain, and the chain's been broken because, hey, he's not going to kill her. Of course he isn't. As I actually mentioned towards the beginning of the review, guys, this is where they arrive at the SCPD. There's that massacre with the Ninth Circle. All of this stuff is a bit like holy crap, because it foreshadows definitely how Star City surely this has got to be the reason why they're viewed as criminals, because these cops were massacred, period. And he even says, I thought it was you. That's why Emiko is still going around in the copycat Green Arrow outfit, because this is, well, she wants to appear as Oliver. And then the SCPD support helicopter arrives at the last second of the episode, and that's just, they're on top of the freaking SCPD, caught red-handed. It's pretty brilliant, actually. Surely the next episode is going to be about them trying to resolve things with Emiko, surely, but also like, well, we're going to have to get away from Star City, or, you know, lay low. And in terms of Emiko, not really much to say there. Obviously, this whole episode was about him learning to still. He didn't know if he could, but that's, you know, the risk he's going to have to take to see if he can give her another chance. And as I said, even though that was like an important emphasis this episode, Oliver has already done that about 50 times this season, so whatever. But, you know, that was the end of the episode, guys. Of course, I forget every time. I always do the flash forward scenes at the end of the review. This was all about going looking even further into the Galaxy 1 Archer Trooper stuff, because there was that advert about how many troops had been formed. There was a bit of drama between Felicity and William. There's not really too much to go into there, apart from, you know, the fact that he feels like she's still treating him like a kid. William then had that meeting with Dale and essentially with Renee at the same time, and that got them all exposed, which also led the Galaxy 1 Archer Troopers back to Felicity and gang. Just before that, actually, Elena arrived, and we got the explanation of how she actually did steal the Archer root code from Felicity, and she sold it to Galaxy. And essentially, guys, Elena is responsible for everything. I mean, sure, maybe, I mean, another multiverse situation, maybe Felicity carried on like 6 months later, she couldn't resist, and then it still somehow got sold to Galaxy. But still, Elena. But then anyway, guys, the Galaxy 1 troopers arrive, and they don't really stand a flipping chance because, well, look at what one of them did against me and everyone else a few episodes back. So they're in big trouble. But anyway, guys, this episode was good. I did enjoy it. As I said, I feel like I enjoyed the previous episode even more, even though that episode was slow as well. It just felt like more badass, but this definitely did put quite a bit of setup for the finale. But let me know what you think down in the comments below, guys. But if you did enjoy this video and you enjoyed the episode, leave a like on it, as it really does show support for the channel, and I really appreciate it. Subscribe, as always, guys, for more Arrow videos just like this. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.